I have faced, fought, and forged through all that the land has thrown at me. Your death will be welcomed among my offerings.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Party Mist. My name is Dread. Welcome back to Schlepping and Conan Exiles on the Savage Wilds map with Shimas-Compendium also added in by the same mod author. And now as we leave behind the city of Murin, I think. Schleppa is trying to think of what she wants to do here. One thing she knows is she's had to drop a lot of things while she's in the city because she's picking up so many good things. She's wondering. Like, how does she, she knows she wants to go over here. She's figured that out because she has a map. That's it. That's the map. She has one. She needs to get to somewhere and probably start building herself a little base or something. Little home if she's not going to live in the city, and those the inside of those houses are not anywhere she wants to live. That's for sure. Those are quite disgusting. Yeah, she's a little bit plump. I know she's a city girl. Don't body shame her. Come on. Yeah, she's thinking, like you maybe find a place, just make yourself a little shack, a little abode to live in, somewhere you can hopefully safely store some things. Make a chest out of wood. That kind of thing. Store some things in it. Pretty old shipwreck. It got pretty much buried here. Or at least this part of it did. Oh, that looks like another camp of people that don't want to be bothered. Great. As we found out, it might be best to leave them alone. Unless there's only one of them, in which case you've at least got a chance, but... just wants to get down to this point on the map just so she can get a better look at what's across the sea, because it shows us as islands, but who knows what's behind this island. There's full-fledged land, and there's a way to like sail across and get back to civilization, maybe? Definitely needs to start picking some stuff up because she's low on, low or out of grass, rocks, twigs, wood, that kind of thing, but... the kind of place to build right here, eh? Little alcove there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but maybe. Yes, I found a savory fish shoal, apparently. Somewhere where we could hunt those fish with a spear. I don't think there's any clickable things on this boat. I don't think it goes anywhere. It's just for show. Tents over that way. I wonder if that's friendly people or not. Not in the water. Oh, is that just a plant sticking up above the water a little bit? Yeah. Hey. So this island is coming into view a little bit, but not much. Kind of surrounded in mist, I'd say. Mists and haze and whatnot. A little bit unclear as to what is up there. Here's there might be either a ship or a shipwreck right over above my head, though. Huh. Interesting. So you'll see that I spent about an hour or whatever it may be, just going around Murren, and I could have been there a lot longer if I had more inventory space. Just collecting things, but out of that, I mean, we already had the cutlass. We ended up getting the hardened steel bow, the steel hatchet, 2 sets of, I believe, a perfected steel poniards, or do we only pick up the one? A hardened steel skinning knife. We ended up getting some food and stuff. We got some treasure. The perfected steel warhammer, I believe. Yeah, I think we already had the perfected steel mace. We got some steel arrows. We got some a couple of drinks here that restore stamina and stuff. We bought some glass flasks. We got some Argosian green dream dust, a pearl. We got some exquisite meat, feline and wolf pelts, some silk, some composite obsidian, some layered silk, some dragon powder, some powder of corruption, some gold dust. We got like a lot of more treasure. We get a lot of stuff just by hanging out in that city. It pays to go there and loot. It really does. Hello? Are you friendly?
You need something, Exile?
Ooh, 100 pearls.
Safe travels, Exile.
We've got a few, right? We've got 10.
If you've got coin to spend, I've got goods to sell.
You could purchase a relic hunter for 4,000 bronze. So 1,000 gold. Not actually that much. You could probably loot the whole town and make that. Your Medal of the Pirate Queen. You get the Sword of Nuruku for 100 pearls from her.
Ahoy, Exile.
And the Caravan
Good news.
Master. I think this is no man's land, I believe, and then Murren outskirts is by the town.
May you always find water, Wanderer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I think call me crazy. Most people do. But I think we're going to go back to that little alcove I looked at, the rock. Consider making a small, very first shack to live in at least part-time and store our stuff. May not be where we settle down over time. It's going to be good for now. See, there's the savory fish. You could probably go in there with a spear equipped and spear those and collect some. You don't have to put down fish traps or that kind of thing, right? That was over there, wasn't it? Yes. I'm going to have to hope that we can build there because we're going to be instantly over encumbered, and that's not going to be fun. Kind of scythe or anything for this. Now we go. Pick this stuff by hand. I need to make some twine. It's not enough twine. Back this way, and we're going to grab some more twine along the way here. So one of the things I haven't done yet is given the backstory. I've kind of hinted at a few things without ever telling the actual backstory. So that's something we're going to do this episode. So stay tuned for that. Because if you want to know who Schlepping is and where she came from, and kind of get some more of an idea of how she came to be here, although Schlepping certainly doesn't know how she came to be here. Yeah. Wait until we get to that point. Do a little bit of building first, though. And then we can kind of end the episode off with that. So those of you who just don't care about anything except for the gameplay can just skip that part at the end. Because I know there's somebody here like that. And I don't blame you. I don't understand you. But I do understand you exist and I accept you. Okay? I'm all about the story and the characters. I don't care about the gameplay as much, or the fighting, or the building, or anything else. The backstory, it's the character, and then it's the looting. Those are my 3 favorite things in games. True story. But at heart, I am a storyteller, so it kind of makes sense for me. Let's grab these things. Watch is not going to let me build here. That would just suck. What I want to do is make a chest right now. Throw it over here. Do that very first thing. Very second thing? I don't know. Hey. Storage. We need more twine. Yes, we do. Make all of that twine, please. Probably going to need probably 2 boxes. See if I can do that or not. Look at this. I can make a golden statue of Ishtar. Well, that's fascinating. How did that happen? A golden statue of Ishtar. A lot of the people of Shem worship the ow. I don't know how big it is. We're going to make one anyways. Let's put down these. Only make one right now because that's all I've got. This stuff doesn't weigh a lot. Okay. What is this? It was stone. Okay. Thousand stone. Thousand stone. That's quite a bit. Still can't move around? No. Yeah, well, we need to move over here, grab a little bit more wood so I can make another box. Don't really need to pick up these rocks. I've got 1,000 rocks in my box. 1,000 rocks in my box. Sounds weird. Yeah. Some of this stuff here. A few trees. Take it in the box. And hopefully we are not overburdened at that point, so we can then run around and gather some more materials and do a little actual building. Need a level. Nice. One more level and we get our passive health regen. Come on. Are you how long does it take to get this bush done? My goodness. Okay. That could go over to our spot. To get a few foundations down, we could throw the bed down on it as well. Give us a point on the map so we don't forget where we're situated, what our sit rep is. This right here. Put that there. Stuff here for now. That here for now. My steel arrows. Keep the fishing rod for now. Let's move some of this stuff here. These here, move that there. We're down to 85%. That's good. That there. Every little bit helps. We're in a more deserty area. It would probably make more sense to do sandstone. Yeah, make a lot more sense. Oh yeah, my journey step, right? Yeah, I should have more stone in here though. Do a little bit of that. Okay. More twine. There we go. That gives us a little place here, and these boxes has the bed in. Well, that's pretty small. It's definitely a little figurine, yeah. That is one of the gods that our people of Shem worship mainly. But she, from her grandparents, learned about Derketo. Anyways, let's get into her story. Hang on just one moment here. Alright, let's start. Schleppa's family came from the eastern deserts 2 generations back, migrating into the western meadows and settling in Nippur. So they settled in the city of Nippur in the western part of Shem, where it's more meadowlands and grassy areas. She spent a lot of time with her grandparents when she was young, learning from their stories of life in the harsh desert in the eastern part of Shem, where people are basically mainly nomadic. Schleppa's grandparents, her mother's parents, both passed away during her 14th year. Now, her mother died during childbirth. Neither her mother nor her younger brother survived that experience. It was this tragedy that caused her grandparents to sojourn into the West and assimilate into more dignified society, as they believed that their daughter and grandson could have been saved had they not been traveling through the deserts as nomads at the time. Schleppa's father came with the family, of course, and he became a blacksmith's apprentice, a feat usually assigned to someone much younger than he was at the time. So normally a blacksmith's apprentice would be someone in their teen years, but as an adult, he showed enough knowledge about these kind of things, they accepted him as an apprentice blacksmith. He worked hard, but he harbored much pain over the death of his wife and son, which caused him to seek comfort in the bottle when he wasn't working. He drank himself to death one night when Schleppa was just 17 years of age. Schleppa was already working for a renowned seamstress at age 17, so after taking a few weeks off to mourn, she continued working and supporting herself. But many whispered behind her back, saying her family was cursed by the desert and that they had fled here but the curse had followed them. Schleppa had no idea who had started these ridiculous rumors, nor could she put an end to them no matter how hard she tried. So she eventually just gave up trying. But then one night, while locking up the seamstress shop, she truly discovered just how far the rumors had gone in affecting people. A mob of people surrounded her in the dark, pulling and pushing and grasping at her. She thought she might possibly recognize several of the voices, but then a sack was placed over her head tightly, and strong hands grabbed her by the arms and legs and lifted her into the air. She was carried roughly for a time, then let down and had her hands bound behind her back. Somebody punched or elbowed her in the face. It was hard to be sure which, as the sack still covered her head and she tasted blood. She was then hauled up into a wagon and sat on its floor, and the wagon then started moving. The journey was long enough that she dozed off while sitting uncomfortably on the floor of the wagon with her hands bound behind her. Eventually the wagon stopped for the night. She was hauled out, and there she was given water, which they made her drink through the sack, not bothering to remove it. She was given no food, and she's placed back in the wagon and thrown onto the floor. This was a reoccurring pattern for 2 to 3 days, she only being given water, forced to relieve herself where she sat or lay in the wagon, her arms aching from being kept tied behind her. She would fall into exhausted sleeps filled with feverish dreams. Schleppa woke up as she was being dragged very roughly out of the wagon. She heard the sounds of ship's rigging creaking, and she briefly caught a whiff of sea air over the still lingering scent of her own dried blood. She was taken aboard a boat, several hands roaming all over her body while voices were raised excitedly in languages she did not speak. Then she was punched in the face again, twice, and then once hard in the stomach. As she bent over gasping with tears streaming down her face, her hands were unbound, only for her to immediately be pushed into a seated position on the floor. Her wrists were then tied in front of her together, and then the rope around her wrists were tied to something at a level of about her shoulder height from where she sat on the wooden floor of the vessel. At this point, she was still more tired and confused and scared. She could hear pleading voices around her in several languages. Several spoke her own, and she tried to speak with them, but nobody listened to her. Other prisoners here on this boat? To what end? The voyage lasted several days. Her hood was removed twice during the day for meals and water and then replaced. She got a few glimpses of her surroundings, prisoners on the floor of the ship, all with their hands tied to metal rings coming out of the walls. Her captors moved amongst them, dark-skinned people, tall and muscular, wearing sandals of unknown design even to her, and simple fur loincloths. They were topless, they were all men, and they carried whips at their waist. She witnessed one slave, for it seems that was what they all were now, one slave being whipped for asking too many questions. She learned it was best to keep her tongue silent. They spoke in a language she was unfamiliar with. It was 3 to 4 days into their journey at sea when a great clamor came up, and they all heard and felt a great thud as if something had collided with the side of the boat. And then the sounds of fierce fighting above. Had someone boarded the boat? The noises lasted for several minutes, and then came the sounds of screams of pain and fear. And then she smelled the smoke. Panic as she may, there was no escaping her bonds until the ship broke up as it plunged under, still ablaze. Somehow she managed to break the surface of the water and flung her now free arms, with rope still trailing from one wrist, over a nearby piece of debris. She didn't know how long she could hold on, as her arms had barely any strength or feeling in them after her ordeal. As she slipped into unconsciousness, she let out a little prayer to the god of her grandparents, Derketo. And when she woke up, she was in a pit, here in the Savage Wilds. That is how that goes. All right, let's do I have any in these boxes? Where's the candles? I think I had some candles, right? Did I get rid of all the candles? No. Did I? I got rid of all of the candles. No, I've got 4 right here. That's better. I was like, don't I have candles? I'm sure I did. Not much, but it's a little bit of light, people. It's a little bit of light, and that helps a lot. Okay, let's make ourselves a little campfire here. And we're going to cook up the raw food that we have in our inventory, because it's no good doing that. No good doing that. There's no good having that here, just raw, and just sitting there. It's going to go bad. It'll stick around a lot longer if we do this. Some exquisite meat. Some raw pork. I think that's the only stuff. Everything else is cooked. Yep. And I guess we need some wood. Oh, we've got a lot of that wood. Okay. We'll do that then. Hopefully I'll put this up here. Yep. Nice. Very nice. see if I can get any of this other stuff out of my inventory. Guess we'll go with that because it weighs the most. We got a carpet we could probably put down here somewhere, hopefully. You can move that around on the carpet. That's cool. Interesting. Didn't realize that. So that should have freed up one inventory spot. Yeah. Those bugs in it. So that's kind of what we got left here. 43%. I think we probably have some knowledge points to spend. We got 3 knowledge points to spend. So as you see, she knows the Durkheto religion from her grandparents because the Durkheto religion is still existent over in the eastern part of Shem, whereas the worship of Anu and Ishtar is mainly in the west. Those are still mainly in the east of Shem, but Bel and Durkheto are also worshipped there. So, done my little research on Shem. I always like to research my characters, where they come from, not just the backstory of the character that I come up with, but understanding a little bit about the area where they came from too, and how it might affect them. I think that's always kind of a cool thing to do. Craft a heavy anvil, a hide roller, an iron cauldron, an iron cooking pot, and a saddler's mannequin, all at the artisan's work table? Wow. Interesting. I don't think I can make an artisan's work table yet, though, right? I don't have that unlocked. Artisan's work table, right? Is that under carpenter? Oh, it's under furniture maker. It's right here. It's level 14. Okay, so when I get to level 14, I can make some interesting things there. Okay, grab these bugs out here. I'll put like 500 of these in here. That works better. Okay. I could also store some stuff in here, I guess, too. That also works. So why don't I store these things all over here? In the soups? Keep the soup. Oh, why do I have gold here? I don't know. Why do I have gold there? Great question. Okay, let's move these around. Very good, very good. Question is, what do we want to do next? And I don't know, so we'll figure that out next time. Thank you all for joining me on Schlepping in Conan Exiles. We are on the Savage Wilds map using the Shimas-Compendium companion mod with it. And we're also, running all these mods over here because I like to. Everybody, thank you all so much. Don't forget to get out and get involved in the arts, please. I mean, artistic games like this should inspire you not only to want to play games like this, but to want to do something artistic yourself. Go take in some arts. Again, go to a gallery, go to a museum, go to the theater, go watch somebody spray paint something amazing, or make a mural, or do a painting, or craft some pottery. You know what I'm talking about? Like watch somebody do something really amazing, artistically speaking, and then give them credit for it. Go hang out at a tattoo shop and watch somebody do tattoo art on somebody. Give them props for what they do and to thank them for what they do, and then get inspired yourself to get out and make some art. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get out there and make some art. Show it to others to inspire them as well. Maybe you'll inspire someone to become the next Martin Luther King. Because Martin Luther King was a great artist, and he's very artistic soul, and he expressed himself through his words, right? He's like a poet. He was also a revolutionary. You know what I'm talking about? Just get inspired yourself, and then inspire others. My name is Dread. This is Party Mist. We're out of here. Bye-bye.